if you're gonna try to pair Cabernet with chocolate this year, I really need you to not do that. I'm gonna show you what actually works and why most people get this wrong. Chocolate already has bitterness and tannin from the cocoa, and Cabernet and other dried red wines also have tannin and bitterness. So when you try to pair these two things, it's not that they clash as much as they amplify the bitterness of one another. Now, you might be someone who happens to like that, but realistically, when it comes to food pairing, that is like against all of the rules, and I've tried it, it doesn't work. The solution to the chocolate pairing problem isn't buying a more expensive wine or getting something that's bigger and bolder. It's knowing how to choose the right style. If you find this helpful, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, maybe diddle the bell, because I do this kind of honest wine talk all the time. Truthfully, there is a correct answer to the question, what do I pair with chocolate? The answer is Moscato de Acqui, definitively. And looking at it through the lens of Valentine's Day is coming up, there's even more reason than just the pairing to make this the wine that you buy to go with your chocolate. So the legend goes that Acqui, back in the day, I'm talking 1,000, 2,000 years ago, the age of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, was known for making sweet red wines, just like they are now. Now, these wines weren't sparkling because they didn't quite have the technology down for that. I'm sure that every once in a while you had a restarted fermentation and you got a little bubble, but that wasn't the feature of the wine. These wines were known for their aphrodisiac qualities, and they were known as being something that lovers would gift each other. Legend has it that Julius Caesar and then Mark Antony both gifted this wine to Cleopatra to profess their love for her. So not only does the modern version pair perfectly with chocolate, it also has a long history of romance. But why does Moscato de Acqui pair so perfectly with chocolate? It's really pretty simple. The tannin problem that you get with wines like Cabernet is non-existent here. This is a light, fresh style of lightly sparkling wine. It is sweet, which pairs well with the chocolate because the sweetness will undercut that bitterness that you do get in chocolate. That light fizz really lifts the fat in the chocolate. And then of course you have the red fruit and floral notes, which feel romantic and also play really well with that darker cocoa flavor. This wine pairs really well with all forms of chocolate, be it your heart-shaped gift box full of chocolate, chocolate cake, chocolate truffles, chocolate mousse, anything that's chocolate. Moscato de Acqui is going to be perfect with it. My favorite bottle of Moscato is Koki Moscato de Acqui. This is a great producer. They do a lot of really cool like vermouths and other sparkling stuff, and their Moscato is fantastic. Really bright, really aromatic, and that light effervescence just really makes this bottle sing to me. Now, if you must drink dry wine, there are some guardrails that you can have in place to have as pleasant an experience as possible. Like I mentioned earlier, tannin is kind of the enemy of chocolate because chocolate already has plenty of tannin. So if you are going to go with a dry red wine, you need something that's really lush and ripe and low tannin. You also don't want much oak because oak will be bringing the tannin and also kind of just muddying the waters when it comes to the flavor profile. You want something clean and fruit forward here. Enter the solution, Garnacha. There are some styles of Grenache that won't work here, but if you look at warmer regions in Spain and get some Grenache from there, then you're kind of on the right track here. Like I said, this will not be perfect. You want that sweetness, but if you refuse to drink sweet wine, Bodegas Ateca Garnacha is a perfect option, or at least as perfect as you can get. This bottle is pretty low acidity, it has pretty low tannin, and it has big fruit, big alcohol, and just the right stuff that'll let it play nice enough with a piece of chocolate. Now, if you know that you're going for, say, chocolate-covered fruit this Valentine's Day, there are other options, such as Moscato. Moscato and Moscato, I would consider them cousins to one another, both light, effervescent, and sweet, but Moscato brings more of that brighter fruit. El Vio Tintero Moscato d'Asti is a perfect example of a Moscato that goes really well with a chocolate-covered fruit. The reason this works so well is that the lighter flavors in the Moscato kind of allow the wine to take a back seat to the more fresh fruit flavors of the actual fruit. It also has the other things going for it, like the bubbles lifting the fat in the chocolate and the sweetness playing well with the bitterness of chocolate. So Moscato with chocolate-covered fruit definitely lets that fruit shine a little bit more and plays in a different way than Moscato does. Now, one of my favorite dessert pairings is heavy, really almost fudgy chocolate cake with port. The reason this works so well is that you're matching the weights. A really heavy, thick chocolate cake can pair really well with that really heavy, thick mouthfeel of port. Plus, port has that higher sugar content, and that plays really well with the chocolate. You do have some tannin, but when you're thinking about cake, you're kind of backed off of the cocoa tannin just because it's cake and not a piece of chocolate. Port stands up really well to something as rich as like a triple chocolate fudge cake, and that's why it's the first thing that I think of when it comes to a chocolate cake pairing. And the port that is kind of my favorite right now is Taylor Fladgate's 2016 Late Bottle Vintage Port. It's a delicious bottle of port. You're getting really good value for your money. This stuff's under 20 bucks and it drinks better than some vintage ports that I've tried, to be honest. I love this bottle, and putting it next to a slice of chocolate cake is pretty perfect. At the end of the day, Briquetto will work with any chocolate that you wind up with this Valentine's Day. And Cabernet just won't. So don't bother trying, save your money, and go with one of the wines from this list. You can check all of them out at the link down in the description. There's always a link there so that it's really easy for you to see exactly what I'm talking about. Let me know down in the comments. Have you ever tried Cabernet with chocolate? And what did you think? I bet I can guess. If you like this kind of honest wine talk, don't forget to subscribe, maybe diddle the bell a little bit. That's gonna be it for me this week, and I really hope that this helped you make some better decisions this year when it comes to buying your sweetheart a box of chocolate and a bottle of wine. I will see you next week with something else, who knows what, and yeah, adios.